Mastering Productivity. Tips, myths, and real-life stories. Intro music plays. Host 1. Welcome to Passive Income, the show where we explore ideas, strategies, and stories that help you live your best life. My name is Anna, and today we're talking about productivity. Not just the typical work harder, work faster stuff, but real actionable tips, debunking popular myths, and sharing stories that prove productivity can work for anyone. Productivity isn't just about squeezing more into your day. It's about doing what matters most. So whether you're a student, a busy professional, or someone just trying to get their life together, this episode is for you. Here's a question to kick things off. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by productivity advice that just doesn't fit your life? Well, stick around, because we're cutting through the noise to give you strategies that actually work. Let's dive into our first segment, actionable tips you can start using today. These aren't gimmicks, they're practical strategies backed by science and real-world experience. Tip 1. The Pomodoro Technique. First up, the Pomodoro Technique. It's simple. You work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and repeat. After 4 cycles, take a longer break. Why does it work? Because it leverages your brain's natural focus cycles. Exactly. It's especially great if you're tackling a big project. You're less likely to burn out, and those short breaks keep your energy up. Tip 2. Time blocking. Next, let's talk about time blocking. Instead of letting your to-do list control you, plan your day in advance by dedicating specific time slots to tasks. This helps you prioritize and avoid distractions. Fun fact, even Elon Musk uses time blocking. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us. Tip 3, the 80-20th rule. And finally, the 80-20th rule. It's also known as the Pareto principle, and it states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Focus on what truly matters and let the rest go. Productivity-themed podcast. Share practical tips like the Pomodoro Technique and time blocking. Debunk common productivity myths and share listener stories that highlight personal approaches to productivity. This episode emphasizes focusing on meaningful tasks and using one's peak energy hours effectively, concluding with a call to prioritize quality over quantity. Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What's one productivity hack you've tried that actually worked? Drop it in the comments. Let's shift gears and talk about some of the biggest myths around productivity. These are the ideas that sound good, but can actually hold you back. Myth 1. Multitasking is productive. First myth. Multitasking makes you more productive. Nope. Research shows that multitasking actually reduces efficiency and increases mistakes. Your brain isn't built to focus on multiple complex tasks at once. Instead, try single tasking. Focus fully on one task before moving on to the next. Myth 2. Wake up at 4 a.m. to be successful. Myth number 2. You need to wake up at 4 a.m. to be successful. Early mornings work for some people, but productivity isn't about the time you wake up. It's about how you use your time. If you're a night owl, embrace it. The key is to work during your peak energy hours. Myth 3. More hours equals more results. Finally, the idea that working longer hours equals more productivity. Burnout is real, and working non-stop often leads to diminishing returns. Remember, quality over quantity. Prioritize rest and recovery. Productivity-themed podcast. Share practical tips like the Pomodoro Technique and time blocking, debunk common productivity myths, and share listener stories that highlight personal approaches to productivity. The episode emphasizes focusing on meaningful tasks and using one's peak energy hours effectively, concluding with a call to prioritize quality over quantity. Have you fallen for any of these myths? Don't worry, we've all been there. Share your experiences in the comments. Now it's time for some real-life stories. Let's talk about how these tips and strategies play out in the real world. Overcoming overwhelm with time blocking. One of our listeners, Sarah, shared her story. She used to feel completely overwhelmed at work, juggling endless meetings and deadlines. Then she tried time blocking, and it changed everything. By dedicating specific times to deep work, she finally felt in control. Story 2. Debunking the 4 a.m. myth. Another story comes from Raj, who felt guilty for not being an early riser. He started embracing his night owl tendencies and realized he was far more productive working late. It's all about knowing yourself. We also spoke with expert Roban, who shared this nugget of wisdom. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Anna, that's gold right there. So, to recap, we shared actionable tips like the Pomodoro technique, time blocking, and the 80-20th rule. We busted myths about multitasking, early mornings, and long hours. And we heard real-life stories that prove productivity is personal. Remember, the goal isn't to do more, it's to do what matters most. If you found this episode helpful, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who could use a productivity boost. Thanks for tuning in too. Until next time, stay productive and take care.